This is Justicedonedirtcheap. It's April 15, 2012. We are in Fredericton, New Brunswick, Canada. Hello there. Can you tell us your name?
Bart Hawkins.
How you doing there, Bert?
Great.
What are your views regarding the City of Fredericton Bylaws regarding mandatory helmet wearing?
Well, I guess the helmet issue, to me, it's a matter of preference, but the problem is that if you do not wear a helmet, for most people, there is a financial burden to the province, okay, and to taxpayers if a situation happens that somebody is involved in an accident that should require assistance, okay, medical assistance, okay. Whether the helmet would prevent that is not the issue, it may, all right. So I don't think the helmet issue is really that unjustified, okay, because it's proven that helmets in a fall could actually stop and prevent some serious injuries. Like I say, not all cases, right? So
yes.
It's a matter of financial responsibility, I think, in that respect.
What's interesting is the City of Fredericton is not actually liable if you fall down and bump your head, so is it appropriate for the City of Fredericton to make a bylaw making wearing a helmet mandatory?
No, I think then it becomes an issue of a provincial issue, provincial jurisdiction, okay, that they have to look at it and say, and it's come down to a matter of education too. Why are people not wearing helmets? If it's just a matter of that it's, hey, I don't have to do it because I don't want to, or is there another social aspect to it? For example, motorcycles, yes, they wear helmets. They didn't have to before, okay? So, you know, there are more people biking, okay, and that seems to be a trend, okay? So maybe we have to look at that one in a responsible manner.
Being an adult man in the age of majority, do you think we should be able to say yes or no to wearing a helmet?
We all want to have the ability to say no or yes to anything, okay? I think it comes back down to a matter of education, social responsibility, and we talked about this a little bit before this interview, okay? If you become a financial burden on society because of your indiscretions, we should try to prevent that as much as possible. But the same thing is true with drinking, the same thing is true with smoking, okay? We don't prohibit that, okay, in that respect. So if we all did what was best for us, yes, we would all wear helmets, eh?
What's interesting too is universal health care does not have a cap on our choices of whether to go biking or not.
Well, that's true.
We're promised universal health care whatever we do.
Yeah, exactly. So if you smoke, I mean, we're promised universal health care, right?
Yes.
Right? So I think it's a matter of education and taking responsibility for the greater benefit of society, okay, in that respect.
Yes. So on the second point, what are your views regarding the City of Fredericton bylaw regarding riding on the sidewalk with a bicycle?
Well, that one's a little different, okay? I very infrequently ever ride on the streets because I don't trust the traffic in the City of Fredericton, okay, and it's been I think that's been proven out many times than not. I believe that if you're on the sidewalk and you're acting responsible and you're giving way to pedestrians the way that you would on the trail system, then I think they can intermix, okay? As I pointed out earlier, there are many more people a lot of times on the train bridge in the City of Fredericton on the trail system during a nice busy sunny day than you'd meet on the downtown sidewalk, okay? And yet we are allowing equal access on the bridge, okay? And you have to give leeway to the pedestrians. And yes, it's wider, but there's an opportunity in the city in a lot of places to actually make some designated bike lanes, okay, that aren't side by side with the car, okay? And when it comes to a matter of a car and a bike, who takes weight? Which one carries the more weight, eh?
Yes.
All right, so I think the city has to really reflect on how much money we're putting into that, and they have to do something about it, especially in new construction areas or areas where there is a wide enough perimeter that they can create official bike lanes.
Yes. Do you think it's proportional or appropriate that the City of Fredericton Police Force can actually run up and tackle someone off a bicycle if they're not wearing a helmet or riding on a sidewalk with a bicycle?
Yeah. No, I don't think that's right. I mean, that's using the heavy hand of the law for something that is a minor infraction, okay? There's a bylaw here in Fredericton with regards to helmets, is there not?
Yes, there is.
Okay. They have a patrol system out on the trails in the summertime. I drive by the patrols all the time. There's people going by without helmets on. If they want to do that, then they have to start ticketing everybody. Let's treat everybody the same. Let's not let somebody off. Let's say, hey, we're going to clamp down. We're going to make everybody wear a helmet. That's the bylaw. We're going to ticket everybody. You don't get a pass, eh? It's, everybody gets ticketed from 1 year old, from the child all the way up through to a senior, right?
What's interesting is the police have the discretion whether to ticket or not.
Well, the problem is, that's the problem, okay? The discretion, okay? And where, it's the judgment of one or not. Let's call it like it is, okay? You ticket everybody, okay? And that sends a message to everybody. Well, okay, now we have a problem. We have to all wear helmets, right? That may solve your problem, okay?
What's interesting is it seems to be disproportionate that the City of Fredericton Police Force can actually tackle someone off a bicycle for either not wearing a helmet or riding on the sidewalk when the fine they can impose is $50 to $500 only, yet the tackling aspect could actually cause way more damage, break someone's neck, knock their teeth out, break their arms, yet they seem to be justified, and they seem to think they're justified.
This is a whole different issue, okay? This is about the use of police power, not about necessarily a bicycle issue, okay? Because that same argument can be used in all kinds of cases. Do police use more force than is necessary, okay? We're supposedly in a situation where the crime is downplayed and stuff like that. Again, that's a totally different topic, I think, okay? In terms of whether there's tackling somebody or not, okay? Because that just doesn't have to apply to this. It could apply to a lot of different cases.
Yes.
Every case is individualized, so you can't just make a blanket statement and say they do that. Okay, well maybe they did it, and maybe there's other justifiable reasons for doing it. So you can't necessarily comment specifically on that one topic.
It seems like if it's a $50 to $500 fine, they should be able to possibly just ask someone to stop, and if the person does not consent, well, it doesn't seem justified to be able to then take an excessive use of force and actually just tackle them right off the bike. It's only a $50 to $500 fine, unless the person was doing something more substantial. I mean, where does it go from there? Are they allowed to taser, pepper spray? I mean...
Well, let's back up a second.
Yes.
Why is the range from $50 to $500 first?
Yes.
Okay. What justifies a $500 fine as opposed to a $50 fine?
Yes.
Okay. And yeah, well, you get into tasering and you get into mace and all that kind of stuff, okay? So what justifies the end, okay? I mean, if it's $500, what did somebody do to deserve a $500 fine versus somebody they've got a $50 fine?
Yes.
The $50 person, they got off the bike and complied? Or the other one, the $500, they didn't comply right away and they had to chase him down the street?
It's a discretionary decision on the part of the arresting officer to decide how much the fine is.
Maybe we're putting too much power in the hands of the officer to decide what the fine is.
That very well may be. And then the matter of, if the City of Fredericton wants to enforce such a bylaw, then there should be limits on their ability to enforce it.
Well, again, that gets into another issue altogether in terms of what the power of policing is, okay, and we're not discussing that, okay, we're discussing certain issues, okay. That would be a long topic, I think, and a research topic that we need to look at,
Yes, therein comes the irony for the City of Fredericton to tout itself as a green city, yet to have city bylaws regarding helmets and bicycles that actually impose almost a stealth tax on the people who actually wish to.
Well, again, now you're confusing the issues, okay? Because the green issue is not necessarily related to the issue of policing, okay?
Yes.
As far as the greening of the city, yes, I think they're doing a good job in greening the city, okay? In that respect, okay? Obviously, we could do more, and that would be the terms about having bicycle paths that are more conclusive to allowing traffic in the traffic flow, okay, as opposed to feel that you're being jeopardized every time you step into traffic with a bike, okay? When those, and I can't say when, you could probably tell me better than when those bylaws were put in place, okay? But I would have to say that society has changed since those ones have happened, okay? There's more vehicles on the road, there's faster vehicles on the road, and I don't think people probably take as much care and diligence as they would have in the past, okay? And that's maybe conflicting with what we're talking about, okay? But I think I don't think you can relate the helmet issue and the issue of sidewalks to a greening of the city issue. That's not a reasonable thing to say.
Okay. All right, thank you. We'll leave it at that for now.
Very well.
Have a great day.
Thank you.